In this video, we're going to look at how we can add in content to enhance your presentations. We're going to focus on how we can use QR codes to engage our audience and garner feedback, and how we can link to videos playing outside your presentation, for example from YouTube, and how we can embed video in your presentation so the video plays natively inside your presentation instead of linking out of it. So without further ado, let's have a look at the first resource in our toolkit, Padlet. Padlet is a website. It's a bit like a dry whiteboard, except it's online. And we can use this to create a space where people can contribute and share ideas. Let's look at how we create a Padlet, how we modify it, how we then share the link to the Padlet, and how we can embed the Padlet into our presentation. First of all, we go to www.padlet.com in Safari, and this will take us to the web page. You can create an account for free, and this means that you can save and get access to your previous Padlets. Up in the top right hand corner, we're just going to click on New Padlet to make a new Padlet, and here we go. That's it. We've just created one. We're going to modify this by clicking on the cog on the right hand side of our screen, and this will allow us to give it a title and a description, and we could even create a tiny little icon which is related to the discussion point that we're exploring on the Padlet. Another option in these settings is how the information will be laid out on the screen. You can have it as freeform, so that students could write anywhere on the board, or you can say that it would be streamed, in which case the comments come one underneath the other. Back to the basic info tab, and we can just choose any of these icons and it will appear at the beginning of our title. We can double tap anywhere, and now we're ready to write. Now the advantage of having a Padlet online is, first of all, that it is online, but the great power comes when we can share these Padlets, these online boards, because then other people can contribute to them either at the same time, or they can contribute to them at any time, as long as they know how to get to the board. So how do they do that? The easiest way is to use QR. We're going to click on the right hand side on the Share and Export icon, and you'll see that it automatically at the bottom generates a QR code for us. All we need to do now is save this QR code, and we can then use it in our presentation. Notice that it also creates a URL under Mobilize, and it also gives us embed code, so we could have this running within a web page. At the top are the various export icons. This is very useful for assessment for learning because we can export an image at the beginning of our first session, and that would help us capture what the students knew at the beginning of a unit of work. In addition to adding text, Padlet allows you to add URLs. This would be useful if a student found a particularly important reference online. They could copy the website, go into Padlet, double tap, and using the faint grey buttons in the dialog box, you can add in a web link instead. Notice that when you click on these grey icons, you can also add in content from many other locations. For example, you could add in a photo or a video from your iPad. It could be that you have got content stored in iCloud Drive, or you have content stored in Google Drive or OneDrive, and these can all be attached in your Padlet. Now remember, we saved that QR code which Padlet automatically generated for us, and it will have gone into our photos onto our camera roll. We're now going to add that into a presentation. For the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to use Keynote, but you will find it just as easy using PowerPoint. Let's create a new presentation, and on the slide we can simply add the image in. Notice that Keynote looks very like PowerPoint. To add in content, you just click on the add sign. I'm going to click on my images, and it automatically looks at my camera roll. I can now insert the QR code into my presentation, and it's ready for my audience to scan. They could use Enigma, which is a free app readily downloadable from the App Store. In addition to having this shining on your screen, you could also create a poster and have this outside the room so your audience scans it before they enter and they're ready to engage with your lecture. So somebody opens Enigma on their iPad, they scan the QR code, and the QR code automatically directs them to the Padlet, and all you need to do is click on Go Online, and now they have their own copy of this, but remember they're all synchronized together. So there you have the first of our tools, Padlet, an online interactive board which can be shared with your audience and they can contribute anytime, any place, anywhere. When you're ready, why not look at the next video in the series where we'll be looking at how you can create QR codes from any website.